Yesterday we started talking about how important it is for us not to give up, to continue moving forward, to continue believing God and having faith in what God has promised us. You know, I think about Abraham, when God promised to Abraham that he was going to have a son, that him and Sarah were going to have a child. And it took a great amount of time for that promise to come to pass. But understand this, it still came to pass. And so because Abraham believed, he received the promise. And so we have to continue to believe and understand that believing is not just something that's happening in here. Believing is something that we're doing. It's an action. It's by what we do we show that we believe. The Bible says faith without works is dead, being alone. So it's not just something that's happening in here, a belief system, but that which is happening in here is starting to translate out here in what I do. And so I continue to do the work that God has called me to do, and I continue to do the things that the Lord would have for me to do to see the promise come to pass in my life. So today I want to continue to encourage you to not give up. You know, I'm sure there are some people in your life that you've been praying for, and maybe you haven't been seeing the results that you want to see. Maybe you haven't seen the breakthrough that you've been praying for in their lives, or maybe there's some things you've been praying for about your family or for yourself, and some things that hadn't happened yet. Understand this, everything will happen if you'll patiently endure. It will happen in its time, and it will also happen in the way that God has planned for it to come to pass. You know, and I believe this, I believe that God's plan and His way is greater than anything that we can see or imagine. So it may not come in the time that I want it. It may not even come in the exact way that I want it, but it will come about, and it will come to pass in the best way for me and for my life. And so don't give up on your prayers. Continue to pray. Continue to move forward and continue to add works to your faith and your belief, and you will see the promise of God come to pass. Don't give up. Never give up. Never quit. Continue to press forward. You know, a few days ago I told you that we needed to write down 4 names and be praying for these people, and then get on the phone and invite them to come to church with you this week. Now, you may do that, and they may give you an excuse, and they may say, well, I'm not able to come. You know what? Call them again next week. Say, well, what about next week? Continue. Be persistent. Be consistent. And if you do that, if you're consistent, you're persistent, and you don't give up, you will receive the promise in your life. Trust me, it will happen. Until tomorrow, this is Pastor Allen reminding you that God has a plan and a purpose for your life.